There are moments in life when everything collapses at once, when betrayal cuts deeper than a knife, when failure makes you question your worth, when the people you trusted vanish, and silence becomes the only voice you hear. Most men break here. They drown in bitterness. They crumble under the weight of their own thoughts. But not you. You stand, not because you are unbroken, but because something within you refuses to fall. That stillness you feel inside the storm. That calm that defies logic. That invisible shield around your soul. That's not luck. That's not numbness. That's protection. There comes a moment in every man's life when life itself begins to protect him. When chaos becomes the forge and pain becomes the teacher. Call it God. Call it nature. Call it reason. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that something greater has placed its armor upon you. And when it does, you begin to change. You stop chasing revenge. You embrace solitude. You remain calm while the world burns. And you lose people, but never your peace. These are the 4 powerful signs that a higher force is guarding your path. That your soul has become untouchable. Soft orchestral swell. Transition into first section. Sign 1. You've stopped needing revenge. 2:30. 7. Rain fades. Fire crackles softly. Calm music begins. When someone wrongs you and your first instinct is silence, not anger, you are not weak. You are protected because the person who controls his reaction has already won the war. Seneca once wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Those words are not moral advice. They are spiritual armor. The man who refuses to mirror cruelty is guarded by something greater than rage. He is guided by reason, not emotion. When you crave revenge, you hand over your peace. You let someone else's poison mix with your blood. You allow their chaos to live inside your mind. But when you remain still, when you breathe and walk away, you take back your throne. Pause. Thunder in the distance. The world mistakes restraint for weakness. But the Stoic knows restraint is dominance, because what you do not react to cannot rule you. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." And the moment you understand this, something divine begins to protect you. Every insult, every betrayal, every manipulation passes through you, but does not enter you. Your peace becomes too expensive to be disturbed. You stop fighting noise with noise. You stop wrestling pigs in the mud, and suddenly you become terrifying, because no one can control a man who refuses to play their game. The man who has mastered his reaction has already defeated his enemy, not in the world outside, but in the kingdom within. That is the first sign, the shield of emotional mastery. Sign 2, you embrace solitude. 7 where 12 side. Soft wind, ocean sounds. The music turns reflective. Most people drown in silence. They crave attention, distraction, validation, anything to avoid facing themselves. But those guided by something higher, they find peace in solitude, because solitude is not emptiness. It's clarity. It's where your thoughts purify and your emotions settle. It's where your soul finally begins to speak. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of the world's greatest empire, didn't find his strength on the battlefield. He found it in silence, writing by candlelight, whispering to himself in meditations. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. To the untrained, solitude looks like isolation. But to the Stoic, it's communion with the universe. When you can sit alone and feel full, when you no longer chase validation, when your mind becomes your safest home, you have entered a realm where few can follow. That is divine protection disguised as detachment. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Pause. Faint thunder. Rain softens. You are being pulled away from chaos so your discernment can sharpen, so you can see who deserves your energy and who only drains it. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." And in this age of noise, that wisdom cuts deep. The man who belongs to everyone belongs to no one. But the man who belongs to himself, he becomes unstoppable. In solitude, you learn to separate need from desire, emotion from action, illusion from truth. And once you learn that, the world can no longer control you. You become calm, not because life is easy, but because your spirit no longer depends on the world's permission to rest. When solitude becomes your strength, you are no longer lonely. You are fortified. Sign 3. You stay calm when everything tries to provoke you. 12. 18. Your sound of fire. Distant battlefield ambience. There is a rare kind of power in not reacting. A terrifying power. Because it confuses the world. People expect outrage. They expect weakness. They expect you to fall apart. But when you remain calm, you break the rules of human behavior. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That sentence is not just philosophy, it's a weapon. Your calmness is rebellion. It tells the universe, I have mastered myself. The calm man terrifies the chaotic because he reveals their instability. He exposes their lack of control without saying a word. Epictetus warned, "He who angers you conquers you." Every time you react in rage, you surrender your inner kingdom. You give your power to the person who provoked you. But when you can stand in the fire, when you can hear the insult, feel the sting, and remain unshaken, you become untouchable. Music softens. Voice slows. This kind of peace is not passive. It's not numbness. It's mastery. Every time you choose stillness instead of rage, silence instead of argument, discipline instead of impulse, you strengthen your armor. You stop being reactive. You start being deliberate. The calm man doesn't need to prove his strength. He simply embodies it. He no longer chases validation. He no longer explains himself. He no longer plays games with noise. His composure becomes his crown. His restraint becomes his weapon. And when the world can no longer shake you, that's not indifference. That's enlightenment. The man who can master emotion no longer needs to control the world, because he already commands the one kingdom that truly matters, his mind. Sign 4. You lose people, but never your peace. 18. Ruer. 24. Soft piano and ocean waves. Golden dawn light breaks through clouds. There's a strange stillness that follows loss, a silence most can't stand. But those protected by something higher, they grow through it. When the Stoic loses people, love, status, or comfort, he doesn't collapse. He breathes, reflects, and remembers. Everything borrowed must one day return. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." He understood that everything you love is temporary, and the more you cling, the more you suffer. The modern world worships attachment. We clutch people, things, and titles, terrified of losing them. But the wise know peace is found not in ownership, but in detachment. When you begin to evolve, when you practice self-control, cut out drama, and choose silence, you will lose people, not because you are cruel, but because you've stopped feeding chaos. The undisciplined cannot survive around the calm. The dramatic cannot coexist with the stoic. Seneca wrote, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you, and when you begin to live that truth, life removes what no longer serves you. It hurts at first, but eventually you realize it's not loss. It's protection. Some doors close not to punish, but to preserve you. Some friendships end not from betrayal, but from evolution. When you stop explaining your peace, stop chasing validation, stop forcing connection, you begin to glow with quiet strength. That glow draws better souls. That stillness attracts truth. And in that clarity, you find that losing people doesn't break you. It builds you, because solitude is not loneliness. It is alignment. Outro, closing reflection. 24 25 Maung, soft orchestral fade. Rain stops. Calm wind. Narrator, slow, warm. When life strips away noise, people, and comfort, it is not cruel.